Hello everyone, Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Path Trading Partners along with Bob Icino. Again, thank you to all the subscribers, all the long-time members, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing, liking, disliking a video, leaving a comment, and ringing the bell. Now, inside day in Tesla, higher low than yesterday, lower high generally, so we're in a consolidation pattern. It was a little pullback with yesterday's volatility, and now it's just correcting sideways. Remember, there are two ways to correct it. Now, this was a pullback on a short-term scale, but a sideways correction on the longer scale. You can see it how it is correcting. I'm still watching for another potential high this week, especially option volume again today. Close to 119,000 going off at the 800 strike. I've never seen this many back-to-back days with concentrated option volume. So we had Friday. I mean, we've had like, what, close to 4 days in a row now with some substantial options volume, especially at this 800 strike. So again, what's ever going on, we've had ARC selling too. So they were selling. I know they were selling into yesterday. I found that out after I did the video. So there was additional selling pressure today. They might have continued to sell. Sorry about the dog barking. They might have continued to sell today, and with this option volume coming in, it does provide a nice prop up, and we're getting that little sideways base sort of forming. That's another reason, just from a technical analysis perspective, I am watching for at least another push higher. Might not be tomorrow, but I will definitely. We've been getting fairly consistent high weekly option volume on the Fridays. So going to pay close attention. And if some of the selling subsides, the overall broad market didn't do much today. So, it was up slightly, but there wasn't much going on with it. So that wasn't a major factor. We identified the levels yesterday. We had 787.36, 789.70. Running up there, the options really started to kick in more from my viewpoint this afternoon. We had some minor this morning. I mean, there's like a 12,000 block that went off, which is pretty substantial. But then we really started to get a goose this afternoon, and we had some great technical patterns, which I will go over. There was no pause after we hit this first. You see this little pause at 789.70, 790 area right in here. We got that little 3-bar pause, giving us a pausing bar, and I didn't have anything to go off of on the 15-minute. You can see here with the 15-minute, we had the pausing bar that we used at the end of the day yesterday, but then we didn't have a pausing bar, so you can use it on the shorter time frame if it's not present on the longer time frame. That giving me 793.57, so I was just watching 793.50 area. High here, 793.49, close enough for me, plus divergence. So, and I'll show you what else I was watching on the 15-minute. With the divergence on the 5, the divergence on the 15-minute, so higher high here, sorry. Just a divergence on the 5. I was looking at the wrong thing. And then we had this double top on the 15-minute, which I was keeping an eye on. The double I am referring to. We had, this is the left hand, this is the right. It's a little harder to see. Straight against that channel line again, and then commencing sell-off. So if you put on that double, if you use the conservative targets, it would have been this way. With nice range-bound area. The aggressive targets would have been using this. I would opted for the conservative targets today, and that just giving a nice pullback to 781 right in there. And then it continued lower, but that gave us a pausing bar. And the pausing bar gave me this minor level, 775, and then I had to go back to the 5-minute, and the only pause I had on the 5-minute was right at this 778 key level we had there. That was the only pause I had. So it was pretty rough. That gave me 773, and then it just kept going down from there. So my next little level that I was watching for a potential reversal, we had this little yesterday support shelf right before the big end of day run up. One thing I wanted to point out, because we had this, I got a question this morning, and this is a perfect way to address it. Was this a momentum ignition? This could have been, but then when we get a lot of bar overlaps, that kills it for me. See how there's all this bar overlap? Compare this to this. I should have mentioned this probably before, but when you get these momentum moves and you get very little bar overlap. This one we had hardly any bar overlap, then essentially a sideways move. Then we went into this. It just keeps building on the other one. First, this one, big bar overlap here, couldn't get anything going. And then here, very little bar overlap once we got this momentum. Then again, we talked about this sideways move and then just ramping up. This was the bigger option volume in this afternoon. So, and then there was this really nice double bottom here. So you see this double bottom, it's easy to see on the 15-minute right here. And that's what I'll be going into tomorrow with watching. Again, if you're going to use the conservative targets, it would have been this. And being a range-bound day, the conservative targets were really nice. So we didn't quite hit the last target. We had 784 about, what was that? 784.03 and stalling out just above there. If you use the aggressive targets, I'm just going to put it on there because that gives me a little price area to watch tomorrow of 786. Sorry, right there. 786.68. So I'm going to keep that in mind just going into tomorrow morning. And I'm going to use this other area, about 784.65, right in here where it stalled out on a closing basis. That's going to be my first level tomorrow, and then 786.68. Then above there, I'm going to watch, see how the selling pressure right up here. By the way, this little shelf from yesterday, that was support, became support, became resistance, and that's a key area to watch for support. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. But that's the little area I was talking to next, about 790.75. That's the next level. Then above there, 793.50, 796.88, and then that magic 800 still. 800, we have a roughly area 799 to 800 is the key for tomorrow. Above that, 809 to 810, then those 819s we talked about yesterday. The upper levels have all stayed the same. So again, I really watch with where we are now, 781. Remember, well, actually now we're at 777, so a little dip after markets, but let's base it off today's close. I'm going to still be watching again about that 20 points higher for the 800 options to start kicking in tomorrow. If they're going to kick in, maybe some minors at 790s, but that 800 is going to be key right there. A little build in open interest today, so slightly more people holding than yesterday at that 800. To the downside, little minor support shelf. If we get below the 777.84 area, so you can go to 778 again. Then 770.70, and those are the minor. Here's where I'm going to just, there's no point putting that on. I would just use this 766.37, today's low, 762.29. And then major support coming in about 758.25 to 759.90. So let's take a look. Well, again, 1 hour is not giving us anything in consolidation. Remember, daily, let me just jump back to that daily, put it in perspective. Now this is just essentially a sideways move, waiting for the rotation zones to really catch up. So that's why I'm still watching the breakout. I'm just looking at this 1 hour. I'm still going to use 762.29 as my key bottom support, but key closing support is about 764. So if we dip below, I want to see on a 4-hour basis if we close above 764. Just seeing if we pull back beyond there, the next major support below that 760 area is 750. That's the bottom of the daily rotation zone, but this is holding up. I'm really, unless something really bad news comes out on Tesla. Also, does anybody know when the quarterly delivery figure is going to come out? I have not seen when it's going to be released yet. If somebody knows, please drop it in the comments, because not only for me, but help everybody else out to really see where this is going. So we're holding at the upper end of the channel. Again, we had that brief sell-off touching the rotation zone yesterday. Inside day-to-day, rotation zone still pushing up. Yes, we still have the divergence. We're out of overbought condition. We're traveling sideways, so if it can really get above this 790 to 800 tomorrow, then I'm really expecting a nice Friday ramp up. And that's all I have. So what's today? Wednesday. So we still have Thursday. We still have another day to go. So let's see, though. Let's see. Let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts and what you're expecting. And we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.